Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. On the news this afternoon, Atiku supporters shot by gunmen in Rivers State. Rights group ask security agencies to critically look into emerging political violence in Rivers State. Court reserves ruling on cases involving APC PDP in Rivers State. On the foreign scene, UK nurses hold biggest strike in NHS history. I am Kalada Kurubatbo. Good afternoon. We begin the news this Thursday afternoon, December 15, 2022, with the Director for Youth Mobilization Officer, Atiku Okowa campaign team in Rivers State, Rhino Owokire, saying gunmen shot at his mouth last night. Mr. Owokire said this in a short online video with blood dripping from his injured mouth. Reports say the incident happened when he was on his way home in Alu, Ikwere local government area of the state. Narrating the incident, an eyewitness told newsmen that the gunman shot at Owokire's vehicle tires before shooting in his direction through the windscreen. He said Mr. Owokire is in pain and currently receiving treatment at an undisclosed medical facility. The police have not spoken on this. The incident comes a month after Mr. Owokire was allegedly kidnapped and forced to denounce his support for the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar. Police had promised to investigate the incident. Meanwhile, the Chancellor of the International Society for Social Justice and Human Rights, Omenazu Jackson, is calling on all security agencies in Rivers State to critically look into the emerging politically induced violence in the state. Dr. Jackson, in an interview with our correspondent, said this kind of violence should not be accepted. He also called on all Rivers people to lend their voices in order for the attacks to stop.
Several politically motivated violence against Rivers people have been perpetrated of recent. One wonders why there have not been any arrests and there have not been any prosecution, and violence has never done anyone any good. Rivers people are peaceful. Let no political actor in the state introduce actions that will divide us. It is unfortunate that we've gone to this level where people no longer fear God, where people no longer love each other. The man you kill today may be your best political ally tomorrow. Turning deaf ears and blind eyes instead of carrying out your duties as security men may not be the best.
Dr. Jackson also called on parents to advise their children against participating in the violence.
Parents, please control your children. Instill the fear of God in them. Make them understand that hurting others will never make them happy in life. They will live perpetually in agony when they spill the blood of the innocent. Let peace and love reign in the heart of men in this state. Between 2015 till today, from our record, over 120 Rivers sons and daughters have been killed out of politically motivated murder. One wonders why the elders of this state has turned blind eyes.
Similarly, the head of Democracy and Good Governance of the ECOWAS Commission, Emmanuel Okorodudu, has called on political parties to moderate the languages they use for campaigning and the content they put out on social media. Mr. Okorodudu, in an interview with newsmen, asked politicians to have the general interest of the country at heart.
The governor assent to that law, and
Mr. Okorodudu also encouraged INEC to continue sensitization and voter education down to the lowest cadre to ensure utmost participation of all. He also emphasized the need for more people to be aware of the new Electoral Act, which will limit the litigations and help to get the benefits of democracy. Still ahead, East-West Road project to gob billions of naira. Stay tuned. We will go for a quick break. When we come back, the rest of the news.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria
Info. Welcome back. Now to the rest of the news. Moving on, the chairman of the civil society in Rivers State, NFI, says civil society in Rivers State will go on a protest if the Rivers State Advertisement and Use of State-Owned Property Prohibition Bill 2022 is passed into law. Mr. Jadril said to Nigeria for FM's Morning Crossfire today.
The governor assent to that law, and we confirmed that that particular portion, this politics and election is part of it. We are saying that we are going to protest it. We are going to protest physically on the streets. We are going to protest this in.
Mr. Jadril condemned the public hearing that was held before the passage of the prohibition of the use of state-owned property bill into law. He said for a bill as sensitive as that, the notice given to stakeholders was too short.
The whole of the bill is targeted at political parties. You will be shocked to know that even political parties were not invited. It is that bad. I said that 90% or more of the persons who were in that public hearing were agents of either the state or the local government. The only person from even the federal government is NSCDC. The invitation came to us around Friday close of 4, that's on the 9th. For a public hearing as sensitive as this, you want to invite stakeholders.
The Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt has reserved ruling in an appeal filed by the APC in Rivers State against the judgment of a federal high court which nullified 16 of its House of Assembly candidates. The three-man panel also reserved a ruling in an appeal filed by PDP against the same judgment delivered by Justice Turaki Mohammed, which allows 16 APC State House of Assembly candidates to contest the 2023 general elections. Recall that Justice Turaki Mohammed of the Federal High Court had in his judgment agreed with PDP that 16 House of Assembly candidates of APC did not comply with the Electoral Act and directed INEC to invalidate their nomination. He also agreed that 16 other House of Assembly candidates of APC complied with the Electoral Act and should be allowed to contest the 2023 general elections. On resumption of the case, the three-man panel of appeal led by Justice Gabriel Kolawole reserved the ruling to a date that will be communicated to parties after lawyers in the matter argued and adopted their final written addresses. Correspondent Ibi Oruwari reports that shortly after the court proceedings, one of the lawyers to APC, Emenike Bete, explained why the 14 appeals were entertained by the appellate court on the issues of jurisdiction.
All Progressive Congress went to court. Those candidates that were affected also went to court as Court of Appeal, and PDP also appealed against that judgment. So we had about 12 appeals here today. Now we took the APC appeal and the PDP appeal because the court had ordered that we should come and answer a question the court posed so motu on its own, the appeals. So 12 appeals were argued today. Basically, the appeal filed by PDP and APC were the star appeals. Then every other one will abide decisions in these two appeals.
Also, one of the lawyers to PDP, DK Udena, spoke to newsmen.
If the ruling says one political party doesn't have a right, then all the appeals will be struck out and dismissed. If, on the other hand, it goes the other way to say, look, in certain circumstances, one political party has a right to go to court against another, then, of course, the appeals will now be heard on the merits. None of the parties raised it. It's the court that raised it. Look, I have given a judgment in the past. The court is now saying, look, having delivered that judgment, is it not the same thing you people are discussing here?
Recall that a three-man panel of appeal led by Justice Gabriel Kolawole had in two separate judgments involving ADP and ADC declared that no political party has the right to meddle in another political party's internal affairs. In business, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says construction work on the East-West Road will gulp 200 billion naira, including 13 billion naira on the failed Elime axis of the road. He said this during a visit to Rivers State to assess the state of work on the 38-kilometer Border Bonny Link Road under construction by Julius Berger. He explained that funding for the 200 billion naira project was under a tax credit scheme arrangement between the federal government and the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas (NLNG). In entertainment, Michelle Obama, Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Lopez, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson were among those paying tribute to DJ Steven Switch Boss following his death at the age of 40. Los Angeles County Coroner's Office said the entertainer had died in a hotel from suicide. In sports, a 14-year-old was killed as riots broke out last night in the French cities of Paris, Nice and Montpellier when Moroccans protested their country's 2-0 loss to France at the FIFA World Cup semi-final match in Qatar. A report saying Morocco fans were trying to pull off a France flag from a car driven by Frenchmen, and the driver in question performed a sudden U-turn and sped away, ramming into the teenager.
And now, we'll bring you news from around the world.
Real stories, real people. In Nigeria in
On the foreign scene, nurses in England, Wales and Northern Ireland have begun the first of 2-day-long strikes over pay. A walkout will also take place on December 20. Staff will provide life-preserving and some urgent care, but routine services are likely to be disrupted in the biggest ever walkout by NHS nurses. The head of the Royal College of Nursing, Pat Cullen, says it is a tragic day for nursing and for patients. The Royal College of Nursing wants a 19% pay rise and says below inflation increases are compromising care by making it hard to attract and retain nurses. On the news this afternoon, you heard Atiku supporters shot by gunmen in Rivers State. Rights group asks security agencies to critically look into emerging political violence in Rivers State. Court reserves ruling on cases involving APC-PDP in Rivers State. On the foreign scene, UK nurses hold biggest strike in NHS history. The news was edited by Martha Okere. Cloudy weather expected in Port Harcourt this afternoon. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Good afternoon.